in the heart of a once vibrant village, where drums once spoke the language of joy, sorrow, and unity, silence reigned like an uninvited ghost. That day, the sun rose like it always did, warm and full of promise, but something felt wrong. The trees didn't rustle as they should have, the birds' songs were hushed, and most terrifying of all, the sacred drums had gone silent. Kelechi, a wide-eyed boy of 12, had woken up before the cock crowed, as he always did on festival days, his chest thumped with excitement. Today was the day of drums, a sacred celebration that honored the ancestors and bound the community together. Everyone would be there, the elders in their agbadas, the women in their flamboyant jeles, the children in marching rapper sound at the heart of it all. The drums would speak. But as Kelechi approached the festival square, something was terribly wrong. Drums, beautifully carved and decorated with intricate patterns, stood still. The drummers beat them, but no sound came out, not even a whisper or vibration. People looked around, confused, tapping the leather surfaces with their fingers, their palms, even their fists. Nothing. The village elder, Babatunji, stepped forward. His face, usually serene, was now a map of worry. The spirits are silent, he said. The drums are the voice of the ancestors. If they do not speak, something has gone terribly wrong. Fear spread like wild harmattan wind. Whispers turned into gasps. Children clung to their mothers. Some even started crying. Kelechi looked at his mother, Mama Efe, who wrapped her arms around him tightly. Don't worry, my son, she whispered. Whatever has gone wrong, the gods will show us the way. But even Mama Efe's voice trembled. That night, as the village sat in uneasy silence, Kelechi lay on his mat, eyes wide open. He could not sleep. The silence was too loud. He had never had such stillness. Even the crickets were quiet. Then he heard something. Not a drum, a whisper, coming from the forest. Kelechi rose from his mat, careful not to wake Mama Efe. He tiptoed past the fire where the last ember still glowed. The whispering from the forest grew louder, yet still too faint to understand. He hesitated at the edge of the trees. Everyone knew that the forest was sacred home to the spirits, the source of the village's power. But something within him, something primal and ancient, told him to go in. He stepped into the forest. The air was thicker here. The trees stood like silent watchers. Every step crunched with dry leaves, and every breath Kelechi took felt heavier. After walking for what seemed like hours, he came to a clearing. In its center stood an ancient tree, gnarled and bent with age. At its roots lay a broken drum, half buried in the soil, vines creeping over it like a shroud. As Kelechi approached, the whispering grew clearer. He reached out and touched the drum. Suddenly, a blast of cold wind knocked him to the ground and a vision flashed before his eyes. He saw a man strong, proud, with markings on his face. The man stood before the village shrine, holding a drum unlike any other. Behind him, people cheered, but the man looked sad, lonely. Then the vision changed. The same man was being cast out, his drum shattered, his name cursed. The name echoed in Kelechi's ears, Okonkwo. When he woke up, the forest was quiet again, but the broken drum still lay before him. He knew what he had to do. The next morning, Kelechi went to the village elder, Baba Tunji, who was Okonkwo. The elder's eyes widened. Where did you hear that name? In the forest, Kelechi replied. He showed me a drum. He said there was a cause. The elder sighed deeply. Okonkwo was once the greatest drummer in the land. His drum could call rain, cure sickness, and even speak to the dead. But he wanted more. He wanted power. When the gods refused him, he cursed the drums and vanished into the forest. We erased his name to protect ourselves. But he's still there, Kelechi said, and he's angry. That night, Kelechi returned to the forest, this time with Madu, his cousin and best friend. Together, they uncovered the broken pieces of Okonkwo's drum and brought them back to the village. The elders protested, afraid the curse would return, but Mama Efe stood by her son. The boy has the spirit of a true drummer, she said. Let him finish what was started. With the help of the village craftsman, Kelechi and Madu began to repair the drum. Each piece they fitted brought strange dreams visions of Okonkwo's rise and fall, his pain, his betrayal. When the drum was whole again, they placed it in the village square. The people gathered, fearful but curious. Kelechi raised the drumstick. He struck it once. The sound echoed, through the air deep, powerful, alive. The drums had spoken, but the sky darkened, and the silent one appeared. The silent one stood tall and cloaked in shadow, a faceless figure that exuded menace. The villagers froze, even the strongest warriors backed away. Only Kelechi stepped forward. You cursed the drums. Now I return them to the people. The silent one didn't speak, but the ground trembled. Trees bent. The sky crackled with lightning. Okonko's spirit emerged behind the silent one. He looked at Kelechi, pain in his eyes. He is not me, the spirit said. He is the cause. I was just the vessel. The silent one lashed out, sending shockwaves across the square. Chaos erupted. People ran. Fire lit the huts. Madu was thrown into a wall. Kelechi stood his ground. Drums are not power. They are memory. They are truth. You have no place here. With a roar of wind and light, Kelechi beat the drum again and again. Each beat pushed the silent one back, unraveling its form. With the final strike, the figure dissolved into ash. The clouds parted, the village exhaled. The curse was broken. Weeks passed, the drums sang again. Festivals returned. Smiles bloomed like flowers. But Kelechi could not forget. He sat with Babatunji. Will it ever return? Only if we forget why it left. Years passed. Kelechi grew into a wise man, a master drummer. He taught children the sacred rhythms, not just with their hands, but with their hearts. One day, as twilight bathed the village in gold, a new boy approached him. Why do we drum, Kelechi? He smiled. So that the silence never wins. And as the boy struck the drum, its voice rose again loud, proud, and eternal. The drums had returned, and this time they would never go silent again.